On this first day of Black History Month, we get to witness the creation of a new Black History moment, the nomination and confirmation of the first Black woman to ever sit on the nation's highest court. Here are the latest machinations. President Biden has not said which Black female, but he did reveal earlier today when he hopes to make his choice public.
But I intend to take this decision, make this decision, and get it to my colleagues by the end of the month. That's my hope.
Biden explained why he wanted to meet the top two senators on the Judiciary Committee, Republican Chuck Grassley, Democrat Dick Durbin, both at the same time.
The Constitution says advise and consent, advice and consent. And I'm serious when I say it, that I want the advice of the Senate as well as the consent. We can arrive on who the nominee should be.
Biden also spoke with Senator Mitch McConnell today. By the way, here's how Mitch McConnell answered the question about the number of Black staff and if any of them would help advise him on this matter.
Actually, I haven't checked. We don't have a racial quota in my office, but I've had a number of African-American employees, both male and female, over the years in all kinds of different positions, including speechwriter.
So he hasn't checked if he has any Black staff. I suspect the racial quota that he says he doesn't have actually means he only has white people on his staff. Meanwhile, President Biden tapped a longtime friend and ally, former Alabama Senator Doug Jones, to guide the nomination process. Now, Jones is going to be an ally inside the Senate. He's escorting the nominee to meetings. He'll prep her for hearings. Here's why Jones is particularly suited for this moment. Black voters, particularly Black women, are how Jones got his Senate seat. An NBC News exit poll in 2017 found that 96% of Black voters supported Jones, 98% of Black women, and 93% of Black men backed him. Jones is also a prosecutor who got convictions for two of the Klan members who killed 4 little Black girls in 1963 Baptist church bombing. So as far as white guys from Alabama go, Doug Jones gets it. And joining me now to discuss all of this around the nomination is a former executive director of the National Council of Negro Women, Dr. Melanie Campbell, and Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever, Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever, the co-founder of Max Black Media. Appreciate both of you for joining us tonight. Melanie, let's start with you. President Biden has the majority. So why is it that he's trying to get bipartisan support for this nominee?
Okay, I just want to make sure that I correct that I'm the president and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. And I love the
I appreciate you making sure that we get your title right. Thank you for that.
Of the Black Women's Roundtable. That's okay. I just don't want to take credit for stuff I didn't do. This moment we're in, I was sitting and looking at what you just showed about former Senator Doug Jones, and just remembering what that meant in 2017 when he was elected to the U.S. Senate, is the power of what Black women bring to the body politics when we come together. And so this moment we're in, where we now have making history once again, where we will have a Black woman to sit on the highest court in the land. It's just really an exciting moment, but it's also a challenging one because it's always difficult for us. So I think it's good to have all the support that's needed, that will be needed to make sure that whoever the nominee is gets a fair opportunity to be through the confirmation process. And we just saw that with Kristen Clark not too long ago, where we it's always more difficult for us when we go to these higher levels of position. Mm. We saw it also with our now vice president, the difficulty of that process, but we're made for it.
We also saw in that meeting that the vice president was there, and she's technically the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. Dr. Avis, that's part of why I'm wondering, is President Biden looking to draw on the relationships he used to have back in the day on the Judiciary Committee, as opposed to just dealing with the reality of now and what the Democratic base needs from this nomination?
Well, I definitely think that that is something that is his natural predisposition. He is very longingly thinking about the many years that he spent in the Senate and the friendships that he built there. And I think in many respects, it's probably hard for him to reconcile the fact that that whole culture has shifted dramatically, actually completely away from democracy, if you ask me. However, I do think that he's being strategic in terms of the meeting that he just brokered, because he wants to make sure that whoever he selects is not, quite frankly, disrespected in the same way that Merrick Garland was, where there's no one that would even take a meeting, for example, with him when he was nominated by President Obama, although I wish that he would have nominated a Black woman at that point. But given that President Biden is moving past the oversight of the Obama administration, I think that he's just trying to sort of grease the wheels there, such that whomever he picks will be at least given the respect that she needs, and then move forward towards confirmation as swiftly and appropriately and successfully as possible.
Oh, Melanie, let's bring you back into this, because you mentioned something, and Dr. Avis just touched on it too, about Black women being built for this, right? Avis mentioned the disrespect that could come to a potential Democratic nominee. I'm remembering the moment where then nominee Kavanaugh was red in the face, effectively yelling at the people he was asking for a job for. Is there any circumstance in which a Black woman could get away with that?
No, absolutely not. And I was in that room, not the day he turned beach red, but in that room also to see then Senator, U.S. Senator Kamala Harris and U.S. Senator Cory Booker carry it. They were built for that moment. And although they were not victorious in stopping what I still believe was a very flawed nominee, they were able to set the record and ask the right questions for at least for history's sake, that they knew what they were doing when they put Kavanaugh in office, and they ignored all of the signs that he should not have been put on the bench. So, yeah.
And Dr. Avis, so let's give you the final word on this, heading into midterm elections right around the corner in November. How much does Biden need this to be a home run to turn out the base?
As much as he needs to breathe. The reality here is that he is coming off of some significant challenges towards the end of 2021, and specifically as it relates to policies that the Black community in particular cares about. They've been striking out a little bit with the administration. So it is absolutely critical that he lives up to his campaign promise, that he not only nominates a Black woman for the Supreme Court, but he's actually successful in getting her seated.
Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever, Melanie Campbell, thank you both for joining me tonight.